All right, so test is Tuesday. Today is our day to review. We're going to do all the odd problems in here together. The review's your homework due on Tuesday, so make sure you follow along because we'll do half of them together, and then you just have to do the other half on your own. I'll post the answers to all the questions on Canvas at some point, probably Monday, but you just have to get it turned in. All right, so let's look at number 1. So first thing I want to do is plug in my x, y, and z's. So I have 2 times y minus x is 3 plus y is 6 plus z is 2. So be careful here when you plug in 2 numbers, even though they're next to each other, that doesn't turn into a 26. That is z times y, so it's 2 times 6. A lot of people made that mistake on the quiz. So PEMDAS, what should I do first? Parentheses. In that parentheses, all I have is addition, so I can just add them all together. But if I had addition and division in the parentheses, I want to make sure I still follow my PEMDAS in the parentheses, so I'd have to do the division first. Again, common mistake on the quiz. So I have 3 plus 6, which would be 9, plus 2 is 11. So I have 2 times 6 minus 11. What do I have to do next? So I have multiplication and subtraction going on. What should I do next? Multiply. What's 2 times 6? 12. And 12 minus 11? 1. So my answer here is 1. Be careful when plugging in. A lot of people on the quiz made silly mistakes. So just be careful with these. So we have in the next one, number 3. X squared, so that would be 3 to the second power, times 2 minus 4 minus 4. What should I do first here? Lucas. Parentheses. I have parentheses inside my parentheses though, so what should I do first?
The ones inside the parentheses.
The ones inside. So what's 4 minus 4? 0. So I have 2 minus 0. 3 squared times 2 minus 0. A lot of people on the quiz distributed, but for these you want to solve what's inside the parentheses because you can. It's just numbers, so you don't have any like terms where you have to distribute. So solve the parentheses on the inside first, and then you can multiply at the end. So what should I do next? Parentheses. 2 minus 0 is what? 2. What should I do next? Exponent. What's 3 squared? 9. So 3 to the second power is like saying 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then I have 9 times 2, which is 18. Awesome. Any questions from this section? Again, you'll have a couple questions like that, just like how you had on the quiz. Next section, we are simplifying. Simplify is different than solve. A lot of people on the quiz just randomly put in an equal sign. Do I have an equal sign in here? No, so I'm just combining my like terms. What should I do first? Distribute. Here I have to distribute because I can't combine negative 9r and 3. They're not like terms, so cannot add them together. So I need to distribute. So I have negative 9r times 10, which is what? Negative 90r. And then negative 3 times 10 is what? Negative 30. Do I have any like terms here? What are my like terms? Awesome. So what's negative 90r plus 3r?
Negative 87r.
Awesome. Negative 87r minus 30. Can't combine those, so that's my answer. Notice how my question didn't have any equal signs, so my answer doesn't have any equal signs. I can't just put in a random equal sign in there. All right, let's do number 7. What should I do first? Distribute. So distribute the 7. 1 times 7 is 7. What's negative 3n times 7? Negative 21n plus 7. Do I have any like terms that I can combine? 7 and 7. What's 7 plus 7?
0. Oh, I mean 14.
14. So 14 minus 21n. And that's my answer. Remember, it doesn't matter the order that you write it in. You could say negative 21n plus 14. That would be correct too. As long as that negative is with the 21n and the 14 is positive. All right, let's look at number 9. Here we're solving. So here we have an equal sign. So I'm going to get n is equal to some number. So I'm going to get all my n's on one side, all my numbers on one side. But before I do that, I need to combine like terms or distribute. So what should I do first here? Distribute. I want to distribute to get rid of the parentheses. So I have 2 times 1 is 2. 2n times 2 would be 4n. Everything else stays the same. When rewriting the problem, so like writing the next step, so here, when I rewrote this, be careful when doing that. A lot of people mixed up their signs and then got the whole question wrong because instead of putting 3 plus 2n, they put 3 minus, and it was just a silly mistake because they forgot. So just be careful on the test. Do I have any like terms on the same side that I can combine? 2 and 5. So remember, when it's on the same side, you add them together. If it was moving it to the opposite side, you would have to change the sign. So what's 2 plus 5? 7. So I have 3 plus 2n is equal to 7 plus 4n. What should I do next? I can subtract 4n on both sides. That works. So I'm just combining my like terms together. And if I move it to the other side of the equal sign, I have to do the opposite. So since I'm adding 4n on the right, to move it over, I have to subtract 4n. So what's 2n minus 4n? 2. Negative 2n. 2 minus 4 would be negative 2. What should I do next? Subtract 3 on both sides. So negative 2n is equal to 4. And then what's the last step? Divide by negative 2. What is 4 divided by negative 2? Negative 2. Awesome. So n is equal to negative 2. All right, let's look at number 11. What should I do first for number 11? Distribute. So I have 20 plus 8n is equal to 20 plus 30n. What should I do next?
Subtract 20 from both sides.
Subtract 20 from both sides. So it cancels out because 20 minus 20 is 0. So I have 8n is equal to 30n. How can I get my n's together? I can subtract 8n on both sides. What's 8n minus 8n?
0.
0. So 0 is equal to, what's 30n minus 8n? 22n. And then what should I do? Divide both sides by 22. What's 0 divided by 22? 0. So what's n equal to?
0.
0. Awesome. Any questions here? Alright, let's do 13. What should I do first?
Distribute.
Distribute. So I have 8 plus 4r. What is negative 2 times 4? Negative 8. It's equal to negative 4 plus 5r. What should I do next? Combine like terms. So on my left side, do I have any like terms?
Yeah.
What?
8 and negative 8.
So what's 8 minus 8? 0. So those will cancel out. So then I have 4r is equal to negative 4 plus 5r. What can I do next? I can subtract 5r on both sides. So negative r is equal to negative 4. Am I done? No. What do I have to do to get r all by itself? What am I doing? Divide both sides by negative 1. Awesome. So I get r is equal to what? Positive 4. Stuff that is going to be on the test that was not on the quiz are your absolute value equations and inequality equations. So let's look at our absolute value. Just a reminder, we always want to get our absolute value all by itself. So how can I move that plus 3 to the other side? Minus 3 on both sides. So I get the absolute value of x divided by 8 is equal to, what's 4 minus 3? 1. Now how can I get rid of that absolute value? What do I need to do?
Multiply by 8.
I need to get rid of those bars first. Split it up into two equations. So I have x over 8 is equal to positive 1. X over 8 is equal to negative 1. So in order to get rid of those bars, you have to split it. Split it into two equations. Now what can I do to solve for x in my left equation? Awesome. Multiply both sides by 8. Because that'll get rid of the 8 that's being divided. What's 1 times 8? 8. So x is equal to 8. And then in my second equation, what do I do to get rid of that 8? Multiply both sides by 8. So x is equal to what? Negative 8. So these are my two answers. For absolute value questions, you will have two answers because you have to split it. So you have to split it to get rid of the bars. Any questions here? All right, let's do 17. What should I do first? Subtract 2. I need to get my absolute value all by itself before I can split it. So I want to subtract 2. So I have the absolute value of b over 5 is equal to 3 minus 2, which is 1. What should I do next? Split it. B over 5 is equal to positive 1. B over 5 is equal to negative 1. So in my equation on the left, how do I solve for B?
Multiply by 5.
Awesome. Multiply both sides by 5. So B is equal to 5. And in my equation on the right, how do I solve for B? Multiply both sides by 5. So So it's negative 1 times 5. Negative 5. So these are my two answers. Any questions here? Ready for the next one? All right, 19. What should I do first? Lucas?
Split it up.
Split it up. So negative 6r is equal to 36. And then what's my other equation going to be?
Negative 6r is equal to negative 36.
Awesome. Negative 6r is equal to negative 36. So because my absolute value is already all by itself, to get rid of it, I just split it into 2. Now my first equation, how do I solve for r? Divide both sides by negative 6. What is 36 divided by negative 6? Awesome, negative 6. My second equation, what do? Divide both sides by negative 6. What's negative 36 divided by negative 6? Positive 6. So my two answers are negative 6 and positive 6. All right, let's look at inequalities. So you have to solve each inequality and graph its solution. So for 21, what should I do first to solve my inequality? So I have negative 2n minus 3n. Remember, when it's on the same side, you just add them together. So what's negative 2 minus 3? Negative 2 minus 3. Negative 5n is less than or equal to 15. What should I do next? Divide by negative 5. What's the one thing I have to do when I divide by a negative number? Flip the sign. So that less than or equal to changes to a greater than or equal to. And what's 15 divided by negative 5? Negative 3. So n is greater than or equal to negative 3. At negative 3, do I have an open circle or closed circle? Closed circle, because it's greater than or equal to. And then which direction am I going to go? To the right or to the left?
To the right.
To the right. Because n is greater than negative 3. So we could say 1 is greater than negative 3. So I'm going in the direction of 1. So to the right. So just remember, for inequalities, if you have greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, it's a closed circle. If you have greater than or less than with no equal to on it, it's an open circle. Any questions here? All right, 23. What should I do first?
Combine the like terms.
Combine the like terms. So it's 4x minus 2x. 2x. So negative 3 is greater than or equal to 5 plus 2x. What should I do next?
Subtract 5 to both sides.
Awesome. Subtract 5 on both sides. So it's negative 3 minus 5. Negative 8. So negative 8 is greater than or equal to 2x. And then what should I do? Divide. Divide both sides by 2. Do I have to flip the sign here?
No.
No. You only flip the sign when you divide by a negative number. 2 is positive. So what's negative 8 divided by 2? Negative 4 is greater than or equal to x. So at negative 4, do I have an open circle or closed circle? Closed circle. And am I going to point to the left or to the right? Let's see. If I plugged in So you're saying to the right. Let's say I plugged in 0. Is 0 less than -4? Or is -4 greater than 0? No. So I'm actually going to go to the left. So I know a lot of people like to think that the direction that you shade is like whatever direction this points, but that's only when your variable comes first. So if this was written in the opposite way, x is less than or equal to -4, it's actually pointing left, so your arrow goes to the left. So be careful with that, because that only works when your variable is first. You go in the direction that it points. So you can always just plug in a number and test to see which way you shade. So I'm saying I shade to the left. If I made this a -5, is -4 greater than -5? Yep, so that works. So it goes to the left. Any questions here? All right, last one, 25. What should I do first? Anybody?
You
Combine like terms. So I have -2 plus 2. They're on the same side of the equation, so I just add them together. What's -2 plus 2? 0. So those will cancel each other out. So I have b is greater than or equal to -6. Alright, so b is greater than or equal to -6. Do I have an open circle or closed circle at -6? Closed circle. And then which direction am I going to point? Tyler?
Right.
To the right. Awesome. Because I could say -5 is greater than -6. -5 is to the right.